Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of our Sunderland Mind No Filters podcast. In celebration of turning 50, we are launching a special series of podcasts across the year highlighting how both Sunderland Mind and people's attitudes to mental health have changed over the last 50 years. Each episode we will be encouraging people to share their story and reflect on their experiences. In our third episode and to celebrate Volunteers Week, we speak to Kia, one of our volunteers here at Sunderland Mind, who shares with us why he started volunteering with our men's group last year. Kia also talks about what he has gotten out of volunteering and how it has helped him see life in a new light. Hi Kia, do you want to introduce yourself
to everybody? So my name's Kia Scott, I'm 28 and I've been here at Mind for, I'm not exactly how long for now, but
it's been a little while, hasn't it?
It's been good though.
Has it been about a year, do we think?
Possibly, I think so. Doesn't feel if it is that, then it's flown.
I agree.
It's really flown.
Where do you volunteer in the organisation?
So I volunteer in the men's group. So it came about. What it was is I was going through a breakup and basically I was just like milling around the house being all sort of like sad and down and whatnot, and my mum was like, no, you need to do something and try and turn this, what is a negative, hopefully in the long run a positive. And so my mum made like a few sort of phone calls and whatnot, and I got introduced to the Mind, and then pretty much just went from there, really.
Never looked back.
Exactly. You know, and I'll be honest with you, when I first started, I didn't really want to be here because my head was completely gone. But as the weeks went on and time went on, stuff got a lot easier. Then I started like actually enjoying coming, and then, as you see, it's not really looked back, and it's been a massive positive in my life, and it's helped me massively. Which I know that, like, obviously I'm supposed to be the volunteer, so you're supposed to be helping other people, but it's been a massive positive for me.
So in what way has it been a positive?
I just think it's given us something to sort of focus on that's not, like relationships and not and not thinking about like the past and stuff, and gives you a focus and a positive one. And the fact that you can that you help people in like a positive way is a massive thing for me as well. So yeah, and I would also as well, what I would say is anybody who's gone through some stuff, I would definitely recommend it, because it's, like I say, it's been a massive part of me, like journey of like recovery, if you like, I guess. There's no way that it would have been as easy without it. Because what it's done is, as I've just said there, it's given us a purpose and a focus. And I think when you're going through stuff, I feel like you need that, because when you're feeling sad and down, you lose that focus and you lose that kind of purpose. Because I didn't really know what it was I really have gone anymore, because you've got this one person who was like a massive part of your life, and they're not there anymore. It's like it's almost like a transitional period that you've got to go through, right? It's kind of adjusting about being on your own again. So yeah.
Totally. So like it's sort of given you the permission to move on in a way, hasn't it? And see things differently.
100%, and I think that's actually really important as well. I'm now kind of getting back to where I was before the relationship, and kind of sort of, just not starting again as such, but just starting to build a track again, because the track had completely gone off, and I'd gone off track also. But I think just as the weeks and the days go by and the months pass on, it gets that bit easier. Do I still have down days? 100%. But I think the thing for me is that you recognise that they are just down moments, and not necessarily like it's not going to keep going on and on and on.
Absolutely. And you said that you benefit from volunteering in the groups, not that you're having the service user role, but it's sort of your experiences and things give people the opportunity to relate to you as well, 100%, doesn't it?
And I say this to Paul all the time. It's obviously when someone has a different problem. Yes, it's a different problem, but we're there for the same reason.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you can relate to them even on that level. Although their experience might be completely different to yours, you can relate to it in the sense of like we've gone through some stuff together, and then that can kind of open so many more doors as well, and particularly for conversation and stuff as well.
Exactly, and you being a volunteer and being as open as you are about your experiences, or as you want to be, gives them something to look forward to and look up to, doesn't it? Because they can see it in real time.
And I think the one thing that like you would hope that like your experience would give is someone to be a bit, giving someone the opportunity to know that they're not going to be judged, and they can be that bit more open, and they can be even vulnerable, if you like, to it, and know that like better days are coming. Might be slower than me, might be faster than me, but like the better days are ahead. Although it might not seem it right now, there's definitely better days ahead.
What made you want to volunteer at Sunderland Mind of all the places?
Again, as I've just said, it was something that I feel that needed to be done to kind of help the process of moving on. And yeah, it's been a massive part of like said process. Yeah. And as I've said as well, also there's no doubt in my mind that it wouldn't have been as easy without this. And with like again with Paul as well and everyone, like everyone's made us feel so like welcome and part of the team very quickly.
That's lovely.
And that's something that I would say is the transition's been made easy because of the people around me as well. I would definitely say that.
So how do you feel being part of the team?
It's given us some sort of. This might sound a bit weird, but I feel like going through what I've gone through has made us realise what it is that I want to do. Yeah. And I think it's probably opened my eyes as to what I'm good at as well. I mean, I'm trying to back legs off a donkey, so it's not. Do you know what I mean? And I think I've always known that, but I've never quite known what I wanted to do, and it's quite ironic that something bad has made us realise that this is where I want to be.
Well, I think you just sort of like every experience is a learning opportunity, isn't 100%. It? And it guides you into like situations like this, and like volunteering in the men's group gives you all that freedom to explore it, doesn't it?
100%. I think. It's like I said, it's opened so many more doors for me in terms of like actual self-confidence and because as I've said it, like although it's been a difficult road, what it has done is kind of opened that window of like opportunity as well. At the same time of it being bad, it's also flipped the coin and it's not so bad.
Definitely. So how are you sort of finding the men's group? How has your role sort of changed over the time you've been here?
It's the longer time's gone on. Yeah. I feel like Paul's trusting us with more sort of responsibility, which for me is massive. Because at the beginning I wasn't as confident. I mean, I can fake it a lot, but now the confidence there is genuine, and it's a one that I actually do genuinely believe that like this is what I'm supposed to do. And I think the one thing I'll say again that I think Paul's shown like a massive faith in me, which no one's really ever shown before outside of like my family and stuff. So again, I think Paul's played a massive part in my development for sure.
That's amazing, and
for sure.
It's amazing that you've had that experience here and you've obviously felt comfortable enough to allow yourself to. Well, that's the grow.
Thing. He kind of he made it so easy. He kind of did it without knowing he probably did it. And I think me and him have clicked as well, and I think that's obviously always going to be beneficial to. And I think there's that level of trust on both sides, which is obviously another massive thing. But no, like I say, the transition has been, been good, and he's played a massive part in that. As has everybody, again, just made us feel like welcome and part of the team. So, yeah.
Fab. Where do you sort of see you volunteering going forward?
I don't know. I don't really know yet. I don't really. I wanted to try and open as many doors as possible. What doors they are, I don't know. But I think what I am willing to do now is throw myself at whatever might come my way, which wasn't really something that I was that keen on doing before, unless I really knew what it was that I wanted to do. But I know I don't mind throwing myself into what might be the unknown anymore. I don't mind doing that anymore. So I think that's the thing is, I want to try and create myself as many opportunities as possible, and I think putting myself in the window, if you like, is going to do that, and putting myself across to other people, and they're saying that I'm capable, then that's going to help me as well, right? Like, you know,
absolutely.
So yeah.
But it's nice as well that obviously that you have that mindset now, and as much as like the men's group is where you've sort of owned all that and you've been able to grow all that, there's so many other opportunities in the organisation that you can then like
and I think
put it into.
That's the thing. I think what the men's group's done for me is kind of it's sort of just it's open, and I'll keep on saying it, but it's opened so many other things in my mind that do you know what it is? I am capable of stuff.
Yeah.
And
you are.
And what this has done, probably more than anything, is make me actually fully realise that I'm a capable individual and I can put my mind to something and I can contribute in a positive way. And I think even if I affect one person's mind in a positive way, then that's it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
In my opinion, that's worth more than any money or that or any materialistic thing. If someone will come say to me you've made us think this certain way when I was thinking this kind of way in the beginning, that for me is the most important thing above anything. Well,
that's you saying I've been there, I know how it feels.
Yeah,
I know where it can be.
And I think that's the thing as well, is when someone sees that you've gone through the same stuff and you're not wearing a suit and you're not wearing and you're just a regular bloke, and and I think for me the one thing that I've always tried to make available for me is that you can come to me with anything. I always try and I never want to be, especially in the environment that I'm in, I would never want to be a closed book. You know what I mean? Because I don't think you can be. Because why would you be doing this otherwise, right? And I think that's the one thing that I would always say is I would always try and make myself as available as possible to people.
And the key word there is as possible, because obviously boundaries have to come into play as well, don't they?
Of course, and I think I think that's it. Yeah, it is, but that's the thing. I think the one thing that I would always want is that someone would be comfortable enough if they had an issue that they thought that I could help with. I would always like them to know that they could come to me now. And I think with the group that I'm in now, I think I'm slowly starting to get that. And they are starting to drop, that trust starting to be there. And
that must be so rewarding.
It is. Because, like I said at the beginning there, when I first started, I'll be honest with you, my head was not in the game at all. And I look back then to now, and it's completely different. And as you've said, to know that someone has got that trust in you and that faith in you is like a feeling I've never really felt before. So it's like you said, it's incredibly rewarding, sure.
And then I guess that then obviously boosts you and how you feel as a volunteer, and the circle just keeps going.
Exactly, right. So it's there's so many other positive things to it, right? It's not just one thing in particular. It has a positive effect on everything that you do. Even my life outside of here now is better because of this.
Oh, why? In what ways?
Just I don't know, I think because I've become a little bit more confident and kind of stick my chest out a bit more.
Yeah.
It kind of, and people see that, they know that they can go to you, I think. And I think I've always been an approachable person anyway, but I think this has kind of helped that even more so. So I guess it's, and I know people probably say this a lot, but this has genuinely changed a lot in my life. So it has, it's do you know what I mean? I mean, I've always been generally quite positive, but this, again, this is just kind of, enhanced that, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. And like you said about how about being there for people and all that sort of stuff, and being that sort of sounding board for people.
Yeah.
do you feel like that you're supported in that by the team and stuff, and that you feel similar things?
I mean, incredibly. Paul in particular is someone that or I now know that I could go to with an issue and it would be dealt with either in whichever way that it needed to be dealt with. And again, that's something that I would want to say for all the team as well. You feel like you could go to somebody with an issue, or not even just an issue, just like, just kind of open up, have that conversation about whatever, and then, you end up like maybe stumbling on subjects or whatever, you talk about that. So I think, again, and I mentioned this before, it's about that trust, right? And I think the trust thing works both ways, and I think that's something that I have in use, for sure. Like, to know that I'm never going to be sort of like judged or looked any different because of my situation, which is a big thing for me, because on the surface level I might look that I don't have like a problem with it, but deep down I am probably a little bit insecure. So it's just nice to know that you're in a sort of a judgmental free place, and whatever you say isn't going to go for, unless obviously it needs to. I get that. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, man, it's everyone's just made us feel like, again, part of something. So
to be fair though, Kia, even if it needed to, you would be taken on that journey along the way. Like, you would be included in the conversation.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the thing, and that's probably been a massive thing for me as well, is just the amount of inclusion that you feel. You don't feel like an outsider. You don't feel like, you don't feel like your opinions are not valid or anything like that. That was made clear to me very early, that my opinion does matter, and my ideas and my thought processes do matter, which is obviously another massive thing. So, yeah.
Perfect. Have you, well, no, you've pretty much answered that already. I was going to say, have you sort of noticed any changes in your mental health while you've been here? Absolutely,
I think positively as well.
Yeah.
Again, we kind of spoke about this at the beginning. It's about having that sort of, a reason to get them out of bed, and a reason to for structure and a purpose, and that for me, and that for anybody is a massive thing, because if you don't have that, then that's when stuff can start going sort of like bad, when you lose that structure and that purpose, and that's with anything in life. When when you apply yourself to something, it improves things massively. Obviously there's other stuff and there's other factors that you've got to think about as well, but I think if you've got a structure and an idea and a plan in place, it's going to help you a lot more than if you didn't have a plan and you didn't have a structure and you didn't have a base to work from. So
yeah. And to be supported in creating that and moving that forward.
100%. And I think, like, what this has done for me is just sort of, it's given me a baseline for my mental health. And I didn't have that before, because I didn't really know how to deal with that. But what this has done for me is kind of give us an outlook, if you like, not outlook, like
sort of like a platform to build from.
Yes, exactly, platform. Yeah. And and I think if you've got that, you've given yourself a fighting chance, and you're putting yourself in not the best position, but in a position that you might not have been before without it. So it's that's what it is. It's just given us like a platform to succeed, if you like.
If you could say anything to somebody who was thinking about volunteering or wanting to volunteer at Sunderland Mind, what would you say? Do it,
100% do it, because and look, it might not seem like a big thing in the beginning, but trust me, it's going to help you in so many other aspects than just in the ones that you think. Like whatever doubts you have, I promise you, once you start, those will disappear. Because I had those same doubts and those same kind of reservations about this. And it sounds stupid to say now, but look, at the end of the day, you got to start somewhere, right? And I think this would be, particularly if you're struggling, do you know what I mean? I think, as I've just said before, it's a great baseline for your, or could be a great baseline for your mental health. I'm not saying for 1 minute that it fixes stuff. What I'm saying is, if you've got you know, if you've got somewhere to go where you can kind of see or whatever, or help whatever, it's going to help you massively.
But I think it's not about fixing things for you. It's about giving you the tools
Absolutely.
and encouraging you to do it.
Absolutely.
Within yourself,
and I think that's another great point you've made. You know, it's not about necessarily sort of fixing it, because I don't really believe in that. I don't think it's about necessarily fixing. I just think what it does is it helps you sort of become more, like this in particular helps you become a lot more aware of you know, of certain triggers and whatnot, and yeah, you know. But like I say again, if anyone was having any kind of doubts about it, you know, I was that person as well, and now look, you know, it's helped me in so many different.
You've come like so far during your time here.
Yeah, it's, you know, when someone else says it, it feels kind of weird to me. Because I don't really, because this is just kind of seems so like. This is gonna sound really, but this to me doesn't sound like, this to me is not a big deal, because this is what I know that I've wanted to do.
Yeah.
So when someone tells me that I'm doing okay with it and well with it, and that I don't really, it doesn't really sort of, it's good. I like it, but it's not something that, like, because it's something that I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Do you find it difficult to like relate to it and like, see that being about you? Yeah, because you're just so in it.
100%. You basically took the words out of my mouth. It's like this is what I'm supposed to do, so I don't really see it as being a massive thing.
But like, by coming here and volunteering, you've just said this is what you're supposed to do. So you've been able to find that now.
And that's the thing, look, someone might start volunteering and it might not be what you want to do, but it's going to give you like immense opportunity, and I think that's the important thing. Like, look, you might come in, you might not like it, right? But give it a shot. Give it a shot, because
at least you've tried, and then by trying, you know, maybe that's not for me. 100%. But now I know I want to do something else instead.
What it can do for you is it can open the door, or you can have a look, you can close it, and maybe move on to something else.
Yeah.
But my advice would be this: is don't not open the door at all. And don't just leave it closed, because you're never going to know otherwise.
Wonderful. What a lovely way to leave it.
Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for coming along.
Again, what I want to say is just, again, like, thank you for everyone for making this sort of transition as smooth as what it has been as well. So
you're more than welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks, Kia, for helping us celebrate Volunteers Week and taking part in our 50th anniversary series of Sunderland Mind No Filters. And thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. You can find us on Facebook at Mind Sunderland or at www.sunderlandmind.co.uk. You can also find us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter and TikTok at Sunderland Mind. And don't forget to like and share this episode of the podcast. We'll see you next time.